My name is Mike Colson. I'm the Director of Public Sector Growth at Akamai.
Okay, so what brings you to OODAcon?
I mean, we're in a really interesting place as a technology industry, especially one that serves the Department of Defense and Intel community and greater US government and the Five Eyes. And Akamai is able to sponsor this event, and we're proud to do that because we believe that these are the stories that we need to talk about. We need to talk about where AI is driving the industry, where technology is evolving or maybe has gaps, and listening to our customers and better understanding some of their concerns and constraints and the broader threat. And so these sort of information exchanges allow us to kind of press forward on our roadmap, and we have a team of dedicated engineers focused on solving problems for the defense and intel community. We've been doing it for 20 years, building unique custom capabilities for the Department of Defense and Intel. And yeah, it's kind of an exciting place to listen and learn.
Absolutely. So I'm sure you've been hearing throughout the day then about convergence, the theme this year being convergence of technologies and industries to enable innovation. How is Akamai navigating the convergence?
Yeah, so through a couple ways. So we see it through the way that industry has been moving for the last couple years, which is M&A, mergers and acquisitions. Akamai has acquired companies like Linode and Noname API Security most recently to help strengthen and bolster our cybersecurity platform and portfolio. And we integrate those to be able to provide a full suite of managed services to be able to meet the ever-growing and pressing needs for national security and defense. But also through a better together and go-to-market story with partners and that ecosystem. So understanding that we don't have all of the answers. We don't suffer from if it wasn't built here, it doesn't exist. And so we're establishing these stronger go-to-market stories and motions with industry partners so that we can support Five Eyes missions and mission partner environments and be able to do things where advanced battle space management and AI and ML can come together and coalesce and clear the fog of war faster and really help support the warfighter and our intel brethren and sisters.
Well, to that end, what are some of the emerging technologies or trends that you're seeing influence that work that you're talking about, and or that you are interested or excited to hear about today?
Yeah, I think anytime we talk about the future of quantum computing and post-quantum cryptography and how that plays into sustainability and thermodynamics and all of those really fascinating dependencies on where technology is driving, it's an area, if you understand the history of Akamai, that we just really embrace. So Akamai started by a couple of MIT mathematicians, and so we like to solve really complex problems with maths. And so our CEO, Tom Layden, actually was one of the contributors to a quantum cryptography algorithm. And so yeah, it's just really interesting to hear how these folks and presenters and companies are getting up and talking about the way that they're solving these challenges. And I think as we sort of progress and see the maturation of all of these pieces, we're going to find that it's a solution strategy and not a product strategy that's going to win the next several phases and cycles of the technology hype and path. Yeah, so it's interesting. We could talk about this in a couple ways. The first would be API security as agencies and organizations have embraced the DevOps cycle of delivery and CI/CD pipelining, they've lost some of the control, or maybe they never had the insight to the packages that developers are bringing to play in order to be able to build and respond faster to evolving needs and requirements. And so the tooling in order to be able to track those API dependencies and understand, what a bad actor or what a bad API call could look like, will eventually bite someone. And so having solutions like Noname to be able to look at and alert on those APIs, I think we're going to see API security, not the gatewaying piece, but like that security aspect, really take off in the next couple of years. And then longer term, everyone talks about CJAD C2 and what C5 ISR is going to look like. We are looking at this from how do we enable through our work in ICAM and ABAC and attribute-based controls and mission partner environments to be able to provide AI and ML-based policy enforcement to ensure the microsegmentation and data centricity of how mission partners are going to work together in the field and with intel sharing. And so I think hopefully everyone sees that Akamai is maturing in this data centricity storyline, and we'll be able to work a lot more globally as we're trying to face down that next near peer adversary.
So to follow up on something that you just mentioned, the mission partner focus piece, and what you were talking about there, do you feel like that's something that, how much do you feel like that's something that supersedes the CJAD C2 and C5 ISR? Is it bigger than that?
It is, yes. I mean, well, geopolitically, absolutely, it's bigger than that. But the way that there are two efforts, right? So if you look at the JADC2 line of efforts across the different departments, they're trying to solve the real challenges of having non-homogeneous ecosystems that they have to be able to communicate across. As we look at the combatant commands and the AORs and how we're trying to solve this in regions, and someone was mentioning today about regionality is going to be the next push and thing that we're going to see from how we're seeing allies coalesce. As we think about what that means, I think mission partner ecosystems are not just going to be about data sharing and how we execute from a tech perspective. That's a tooling, but it's going to be about the way that we build those trusts. And if we agree that the way that we communicate as organizationally aligned is what drives the way that we operate and our systems operate for how we deliver data and results to the downstream users. I think just taking that like as an example, yeah, we're talking at a very high level of here's how we're thinking. We start with something like the Five Eyes, or AUKUS, or a coalition that is well established, NATO, and then we drill down into, all right, how do we execute on the foundational requirements of data sharing and gathering and communications, and then what does it look like to be able to perform missions together, and then what does that look like when overlaid with mesh networks and data fabrics, and then how do I apply that at a technology level so that I can ensure data sovereignty and attribute-based control and all of the other really techie, nerdy nerd knobs that have to get turned in order to be able to execute the mission appropriately.
I mean, it all has to come together at the tactical level, right?
Absolutely, right? Otherwise, how do we ensure that a British jet is able to talk to a U.S. tank. It's almost impossible if we don't have that execution at the end.